Scattered across the heart of the Pacific lies a chain of islands steeped in mystery, myth, and memory. This is the Visayas, a region of the Philippines rarely spotlighted in global stories, yet rich with secrets waiting to be uncovered. Here, ancient rituals echo through the forests, sunlit hills whisper the stories of lost kingdoms, and the ocean guards the legacy of warrior tribes and colonial resistance. In this journey, we peel back the layers of time. From ancestral spirits to underwater sanctuaries, from the rhythm of festivals to the shadows of forgotten revolutions, this is more than a place. It's a pulse, a living archive of the human spirit. Welcome to Visayas Unveiled, Secrets of the Philippine Islands, where history breathes and legends never sleep. At the center of the Philippine archipelago lies a constellation of islands called the Visayas, each with its soul, but bound by shared rhythms of wind, tide, and time. Cebu, Panay, Leyte, Negros, Samar, Bohol, names that sing with life. These lands are not just maps and markers, they are homes to cultures shaped by volcanoes, typhoons, and centuries of migration. In early mornings, you'll find markets stirring with voices in Cebuano, Hiligaynon, and Waray, languages born from ancient Austronesian roots. Fishermen cast nets into a turquoise sea, repeating rituals passed down for generations. Life moves with the pulse of the islands, steady, humble, alive. Though often overshadowed by the megacities of Luzon or the wild frontiers of Mindanao, the Visayas is the bridge, both geographically and spiritually. It is where north meets south, tradition meets trade, and nature meets story. Long before Spanish galleons cut across these waters, the Visayans were voyaging. They sailed the seas in balangays, wooden boats held together by ancestral knowledge and wind-carved wisdom. They traded with kingdoms in Java, India, and even China, centuries before the West arrived. These early societies were complex and deeply spiritual. They honored earth, sky, and sea with ceremonies led by Babaylan, priestesses, healers, and mystics who held powerful positions in their communities. Their world was alive, rivers had spirits, trees held memories, and the dead never truly left. The people known as pintados, the painted ones, covered their skin with tattoos that told stories of valor, pain, and identity. Their ink was not decoration, it was a language, each symbol earned through acts of bravery or rites of passage. Here, history wasn't written in books. It was etched in skin, sung in chants, and carved into stone. The Visayas was not a remote frontier, it was a cradle of civilization with its kings, myths, and metaphysical map. Then came the silence of ships. In 1521, Ferdinand Magellan arrived in Cebu, bringing with him a new religion, a new language, and the beginning of centuries-long colonization. He would die on these shores, struck down by Lapu-Lapu, a Visayan chieftain who became the first Filipino hero. But that was only the beginning. Spanish priests replaced the Babaylan. Churches rose where sacred groves once stood. Indigenous names were replaced with saints and crosses. The colonizers sought to break the spirit of the Visayans, but in doing so, they awakened something fiercer. In the jungles of Bohol, Francisco Dagohoy led a rebellion that would last over 8 decades, the longest in Philippine history. In Cebu, Leon Quilat fought Spanish forces in the streets until betrayal cut his revolution short. These were not isolated revolts, they were thunderclaps of a region refusing to be erased. The Visayas became both battlefield and sanctuary, resisting not just the Spanish but later the Americans and Japanese. Every stone fort and ruined convent holds echoes of resistance, resilience, and blood unforgotten. But the Visayas is not only shaped by human hands, it is a masterpiece sculpted by the earth itself. In Bohol, more than 1,000 rounded hills roll across the landscape like sleeping giants. Known as the Chocolate Hills, they are one of the world's geological enigmas, shrouded in science and legend alike. Some say they were formed from the tears of a heartbroken giant. Others, from battles between gods. Beneath the surface lie cave systems like Hinagdanan and Sohotun, places of eerie beauty and ancient reverence. Stalactites hang like chandeliers in underground cathedrals, while subterranean pools glow with reflected light, still and sacred. Offshore, islands like Apo and Panglao reveal coral kingdoms, reefs teeming with biodiversity, from neon fish to ancient sea turtles. The Visayas sits at the heart of the Coral Triangle, making it one of the richest marine ecosystems on Earth. This is a region where nature is not background, it is the agonist. Alive, volatile, divine. For all its modernity, the Visayas never let go of its soul. Beneath Catholicism's ornate rituals, older forces still stir. Faith healers known as Albularyo or Mananambal still diagnose illness not just through symptoms, but through stories, dreams, and energies. They whisper prayers into boiling herbs, perform rituals with candles and eggs, and ward off curses passed down through generations. Children grow up hearing tales of the Kapre, a smoking giant who lives in trees, the Aswang, a shapeshifter that feeds at night, or the Diwata, nature spirits that bless or curse depending on your respect for the land. And yet, it is not a contradiction that devout Catholics light candles to the saints while secretly leaving offerings for forest spirits. In the Visayas, spirituality is layered. It flows like water, adapting, merging, surviving. Even today, on stormy nights or in quiet villages, you'll hear it, the blend of gospel hymns and ancestral whispers. A religion rewritten, but never truly replaced. If the Visayas has one universal language, it is celebration. Sinulog in Cebu transforms the city into a river of color where dancers mimic the flowing current of time and faith, honoring the Santo Nino, the child Jesus gifted by Magellan. But behind the Christian story lies something older, a spiritual rhythm that predates the cross. In Aklan's Ati-Atihan festival, participants paint their skin in homage to the Ita, the archipelago's first people. They dance in chaotic ecstasy, their drums echoing pre-colonial rituals of thanks and community. Bacolod's Mascara festival emerged from tragedy when a ferry disaster and economic collapse brought sorrow to the city. Instead of mourning, the people responded with masks, music, and the message, "We will smile through the pain." Each festival is a story of survival, resistance, joy, and renewal. They are not mere parties. They are ancestral voices made visible in movement and music. The Visayas is more than a region, it is a living memory. It remembers the warriors and mystics, the sea crossings and star maps, the colonizers and the rebels. It remembers the laughter of markets, the silence of forests, the roar of volcanoes. To walk through the Visayas is to walk through time, where every festival is a ritual, every tattoo a prayer, every wave a messenger from the past. And though the world changes, these islands remain mysterious, magnetic, eternal. This is the Visayas, unveiled. Not as a tourist destination, but as a soul unmasked, wild, wounded, and wonderfully alive. If these stories moved you, help us tell more. Subscribe to Deep Dive Documentary, where history breathes and cultures rise from the shadows.